Hey, welcome to this episode of Reimagineer It. This week, we reimagineer the World Showcase. Well, not all of it, but you'll see.
Brandon, Matthew, did you forget to send him the notes?
Brandon?
Yeah, because we're actually reimagineering all of World Showcase.
Oh, yeah,
I thought we told you.
I definitely did get those.
Well, keep up, Buttercup. We'll figure it out as we go. Right. Okay, guys. World Showcase is 11 countries deep, right? Is that right?
I think so.
And there have been rumors for years, and there was actually like a video years and years ago. We'll see as we unpack the history of it, where there were like all these other countries that were shown as potentials coming down the road, yet nothing's happened.
Nope. Nothing.
So we decided to pick a country and add it to World Showcase. Now, there's something that extra special that we needed to add this week.
What?
We thought we would throw another person into the mix. And what better perspective, especially when you got three guys doing all these shows, what better perspective than a female's perspective? So please help me welcome Emily to Reimagineer It.
Hi.
Welcome.
This is going to be so much fun.
Yes.
Emily, give us the 411 as quick as you can. Who are you? Why are you here? Why do you love Disney? Give us it all.
Yeah, so my name's Emily, and I live in Indiana, and I met Dave through Clubhouse, and that's kind of where we kind of started talking, and we met in an All Things Disney room. I love talking about Disney. I grew up on Disney movies, go to the parks a lot, as much as I can for being in Indiana, and he was like, hey, we do this thing called Reimagineer It, and I was like, I want to be a part of that, and he was like, we'd love to have you on. So that's kind of how it worked out, and I'm really excited to talk about the World Showcase today, because Epcot and the World Showcase specifically is one of my favorite things about Disney, to be honest.
Yes. Now, I love like talking about Clubhouse because not everybody in the world knows that, and it's almost like, wait, you guys met at the club? Not that club. This is just this social media app that's kind of sweeping in popularity, but it's been around for a long time. But the way they're introducing like how people can join, it's by like invite only, and you have to be active, and then you get some more invites, and then you can invite it. It's a different approach, but it's pretty cool. And so I, of course, as soon as I landed on the platform, just found all of the Disney related groups. And that's basically all that I'm in, other than a couple of podcasting ones. So yes. And so Emily, now when I found you, it was in like an All Things Disney room. And I was just like, guys, she's sharp. And so I talked to the guys and I was like, man, I think she would be great to have on. She's passionate about Disney. She loves a lot of Disney Plus stuff too, but like she's just well-spoken. She was sharp. She knows her Disney stuff. And I was like, and you know what helps?
Thank you.
She's a woman.
Yeah.
And that would be hugely beneficial sometimes to have a female come on, because our wives will come on, but they won't be partial at all. They'll be mean to us, right, Brandon?
Correct.
That's just kind of
they'll be
where
100%.
No promises that I'm going to be super nice. I'll just say that.
Fair enough. Matthew's not nice either, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump in by going over. We always go over the history of kind of what we're going to be unpacking, and so we are in World Showcase, and it was randomly enough part of opening day.
Oh, what? No way.
And it's still there. All right, who's going to go first? I mean, is there anything else wants to really say?
I mean, no. Well, most of it was.
Yeah, that's
a part
true.
Of opening day. Not
so
all of it.
It did start off with 9 pavilions, which were Canada, the UK, France, Japan, USA, Italy, Germany, China, and Mexico. So then 2 years later, the Morocco pavilion opened, and in 1988, Norway rounded out the 11-member showcase. Norway's my favorite. For the past 27 years, the remaining 8 spaces have been left vacant. So what that means is there was originally a plan to bring in 19 total countries, I guess is what they are.
Where were they going to find the room for that?
They have 8 slots. Seriously.
Where?
Well, I guess where
There's one where
the
the train is at, and for
Right.
like the choo-choo
Yeah,
train, the Africa
where the
outpost.
Millennium
Falcon?
Village is. Yeah, that.
That's the Millennium Falcon.
Or the Millennial Village, whatever it's called. That's gone.
I think just finishing
That's
that
still there.
loop. I mean, I think they kind
Yeah.
of cleared all that out and did
Yep.
new stuff there, but I think you
Yeah.
could just easily finish the loop.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I mean, there's been strong rumors over the past few years prior to COVID that they were going to add something, but who knows? Anyway, so we've had 11. So, here's it is. It actually is, okay, the African Outpost, the miniature train layout, the World Showplace Pavilion have temporarily filled some of the spaces, but each of these venues could be swiftly deconstructed to welcome new permanent pavilions. Boom, 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 boom. The Millennium Village gave us a glimpse of some of the countries that could eventually find a home around the World Showcase Lagoon, and they include, hold your breath, Brazil, Chile, Eritrea, I think I said that right. I practiced Israel, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, and Sweden. And so you guys I have to charge extra for the cool accents, by the way.
Yeah,
Great.
and
I loved
the
it.
Millennium Village used to be cool. Now all it is you walk in and you can have some festival eats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
That's
Yeah.
true.
I got
And now
some
that
of
you
the
say
cool.
I
Now
got
that
that
you say that African Post or whatever, like all they have there is like ices and hot dogs. So I guess
it's like a
we could
Coca-Cola thing.
take it down.
that the Millennial Pavilion or whatever where they do it, I got that picture right there signed by the artist at the Festival of the Arts. Almost said Festival of the
Cool.
Fantasy Parade. That's not
Wow.
where I got that.
Wow.
You're
Okay.
famous.
I think. Well, should we be proper and say ladies first, or should we have somebody else go first? What do you guys think?
I think we should let the lady make the decision.
Put her in the hot seat. I love it.
What you saying?
Yeah. Hey, I'll go first. That way it doesn't look like I stole anybody else's idea.
Oh,
Oh,
easy.
dang.
I haven't
that
seen any of the
stinks. I didn't
notes, so
think
I don't
about
know what
that.
you guys picked. I
Well,
don't
you
know.
didn't. You didn't steal.
We knew what you picked,
anybody's
though.
idea.
Yeah.
Good news.
Yeah. All right. So I chose Brazil. So it's interesting that was on the list of rumored countries that could go in those places, because I think Brazil would fit really well in that spot. It's in between Germany and China as kind of the spot we're kind of talking about. And I just think it would be really cool. There's a lot of things you can do. And so for decor, I would kind of do a Rio theme. So in Rio and all over Brazil, they have really colorful buildings. And I think all of those buildings, lots of different block colors, and then cobblestone roads would kind of be the area in there. And so for food, I'm thinking I want a really nicer restaurant in there, like a more sit-down place, not necessarily a lot of street food or just like stands, like quick fast food. Lots of think Brazilian steakhouse kind of a place. I think that would be really cool to do in there. But there's also like snacky stuff that you can do. I have a friend who's from Brazil, and she makes the best brigadeiro, which is kind of like a chocolatey dessert. But in Brazil, they have fresh fruits and they have all these really fun things. And so like dessert wise, so I think dessert stands specifically, kind of like in Mexico, they have like the churro stands. You can get a lot of like the Mexican desserts. I think having something like that in Brazil would be really cool with brigadeiro. And then, I think just a lot of like shopping, which has a lot of high-end fashion in Brazil. There's just like a lot of like new cultural exciting things happening in Brazil. And I think Disney could really capitalize on a lot of just like that culture. And I will say there's not a lot of South American representation in Disney. And so I think there needs to be something in South America, because there are a ton of Brazilian tourists that come to Walt Disney World. If you notice that, a lot of tour groups will come to the States specifically to go to Disney World, which I think is interesting. So I think Brazil would be a really natural fit. And then for a ride, I think it could be cool to do almost like you're participating in Carnival. And so it's
that's cool.
Oh, that's epic.
so kind of like not necessarily a boat ride, but almost like a cart that you're in, and you're going around to all the different cities in Brazil, and you hear lots of Brazilian music, and you see, because they all celebrate Carnival in all these different ways in the different cities. So all the different rooms you could go through could have the different ways they celebrate Carnival, and they can incorporate, Disney can incorporate smells as you go through each city, and I think that would be really fun. So I'm all about it. I think you can incorporate lots of greenery with that river there. Brazil also has a ton of waterfalls and water features. So I think there's so much you could do in that area. But to me, I'd have to pick Brazil.
Okay.
All
All right, let's grill her, guys. Questions.
Yeah.
I approve as long as we have Ohana 2 located there. So we have 2 chances to get reservations. It's hard to get in there.
Ohana is
Hawaiian.
but it's a Brazilian style restaurant.
That's Polynesian.
No, I'm going to look it up. I'm telling you I'm right.
I mean, you're probably right, but like
It's probably similar. But like Brazilian steakhouse, like Texas Day Brazil is like a chain in the
like
States,
A
right?
Brazilian steakhouse
Yes.
where they just bring you meat until you hold up a red stop sign that says, I'm going to explode.
Yes.
And even then, they just keep and then you have to get the dessert that they bring out. It's so good.
Yep.
I don't know. Let's see what it says. Takamon.
It'd be really odd. I mean, I believe you, but like it'd be really odd for them to have Brazilian food at the Polynesian.
That style. What could we call it? Let's not call it Ohana 2. What could we call it? Let's call it Brazilian style steakhouse like Ohana. That's the name.
Perfect.
That's a long thing. to
It's
put on
her
the
land,
sign.
and she said I could do it. She said perfect. We're going with it.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Emily, you're
then.
going to have to learn that you cannot agree with Dave because
Okay.
tomorrow it will exist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So there you go. Your dreams will come true. We'll just make Brazil.
Your dreams
cool.
will either
Love it.
come true or they will be completely smashed.
Correct.
Nightmare.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Correct.
We'll figure that one out.
Okay,
Oh,
Carnival.
no.
So unpack the little shops, right? Because that's what's so great about World Showcase. You wander back into these countries and you discover all of this stuff. So unpack for me again what the little shop, like what's popular and like when you go to Brazil, what do you have to buy, right? Did you think through some of what would be in there?
Yeah, so during Carnival, actually, there's a lot of like, just like people who kind of walk around, almost like at the parades, where they have all of like the different, hats and beads, and they have all of these different celebratory things. And so I think a shop filled with all like feathers and all of the different things that you could get at Carnival in Brazil. Because what's cool about Brazil is they love sharing their culture with visitors. And so I think that would be such a cool way to just like celebrate Carnival is to get all of the different Carnival decor. And so one of the stores in there would just be a lot of the fun decor, I guess, that you would celebrate Carnival. And then I would think like maybe like a more high-end shop with a lot of like Brazilian inspired designers. There's a big fashion scene growing
Yes.
in Brazil,
Yep.
similar to like their culinary scene. And so I think having a higher end fashion store is really something that will liven up the World Showcase and attract a different group of people. Maybe I think like Italy and Morocco maybe have a more like actual fashion in some of those places that you can get. I don't remember some of the other ones, but I know for sure in Italy and Morocco they have some shopping there that's a little bit more high end. But I think bringing in some high end fashion that's really modern, so you can say, yeah, I got this at Disney, but it's actually like a high end garment. I think that could be cool.
Right. Yeah. Like it's funny that you say that because I know that, for me, when I go to Disney Springs and I mean, Brandon lives there, so I'm sure he's almost like, how do these expensive shops stay open?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I have just heard like in a sense, like the Brazilians, they come in waves and they just love Disney. And
Yeah.
like, I've heard kind of like under the table, like, oh yeah, the Brazilians love to come and spend money and they love to come and go to these like fashion-y high-end shops. And like, so they were like, we're gonna open them up so they stay on property and
Yeah.
spend their money here. That's not official, but like I've definitely heard and read that across the interwebs. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
would
well-
definitely make sense.
I mean, any international tourist, right? Like who are coming into Disney, a lot of people want to come to Disney. One, it's like, it's Disney, so people want to come. But two, it's very like, it's, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of fashion. There's a lot of things you can do, a lot of things you can buy. So I think it's the perfect place. Like when you come to America, you can get it really cheap all in one spot. You don't have to
Yep.
go to New York. You don't have to go to all these places. You can still have a lot of fun at Disney. You can have a lot of fun, but still get all of your shopping in, right? Like you can still get all of these like high-end stuff that you normally have to pay to get through customs or things like that. You don't have to pay tax like crazy like international shipping costs. You can just buy it straight there and bring it back with you.
Yeah. And you see people down here all the time. Like Dave said, I live here, so I'm at Disney Springs all the time. But I mean, you see these international tourists, and they're wheeling around suitcases because they go in stores here and they buy multiple, of the same item, and they're going to take it back. Like you said, Emily, they don't have to pay that crazy international shipping, but they're going to take it back and they're going to sell it to people down there that couldn't necessarily get here to get it. Point. So, I mean, it totally makes sense. I mean, I agree with you. I think that would bring a whole new kind of shopping experience to the World Showcase. That would benefit Disney.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think too with the new shopping stuff, I think a lot of with Etsy becoming a big thing, and you have all these Disney themed stuff, but a lot of it looks really more fashionable, looks a lot cuter. I think some of the stereotypical Disney merch, while it's still classic and you still want it, I think you might want something a little bit more hey, this is Disney, but it's still I paid a lot for it, or it's really nice, or it's designer, things like that. And I think that really fits into the fashion scene that's happening in Brazil right now. So I think starting to add some of those stores in the World Showcase, no matter what country, would be great. But I think it really makes sense for Brazil.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Well done. Right. Although we all have picked something different.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if they build a land, it's going to be Brazil. But we're going to dream anyway.
Love it.
Probably.
All right. Who's going?
I'll go.
All right.
Go.
Okay. Because there were a couple ideas that I actually came up with that I didn't put in my notes. And so I'm like, I don't want to lose them.
There we go.
Okay. So for me, I find it odd that, besides Antarctica, there's an entire continent that's not represented.
Okay.
So I think that it's time that we give Australia the recognition.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
I love it.
I agree.
Good one.
Yes. So we will start off with Outback Steakhouse being the premier restaurant. No, I'm just kidding.
Here we go.
No, I'm just kidding. But if there's one there, there's a couple of really big things that people love about Australia. It's the nature and it's the food. So it's got to have that, almost like Le Cellier level restaurant.
Heaven.
People have to go there. So there's that. So that's the restaurant. I think that Australia, so I said food and then nature. I think Australia is a really great place that needs another one of our lovely lean bar Circle Vision 360 theaters.
Please more.
I love it because there's only 2 in World Showcase.
Canada.
There needs to be more.
I love it.
So I think they need their own movie sponsored by
Here we go.
the Australia Zoo and the Irwins.
Oh, nice. I thought you were going to say Foster's for beer.
No.
It's a movie.
No, but I think that Disney partnering with the Irwins could be an awesome opportunity. I would love to see that because they're kind of on a resurgence, and so people want to see the Irwins. People want to see the awesome things that they have such an incredible knowledge base of everything that they do. So it'd be fun. Because they're deeply invested in everything that happens in nature in Australia. Yeah. So I love to see it.
I love the Irwins. And like we talked about when we reimagineered Dino Land. I had brought up the Australia there and having something like the Irwins over at Animal Kingdom. So Matthew, great minds think alike.
There you go.
That
we went from no Australia to in 2 parks. It's perfect, man.
It's done.
We're rewriting history.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Also, what I think would be cool is if you almost made it more like Soarin', right? Where you're flying over the Australian countryside, but you could do the bridge in Sydney and the Opera House, and you could really see some of that stuff up close. I think that could be cool too.
I agree.
In 360 smell-o-vision?
Smell-o-vision?
Just go with it.
Okay. Yeah, and then every attraction needs a good gift shop, and so you just couldn't go to Australia without having some of their weird snacks and
weird snacks.
Just because that's just one thing that I've
heard
about Australia.
Right? They got some weird
snacks in there, and so that's one thing that it's Australia's got some weird snacks, man.
They got some weird stuff. Got some
Vegemite.
word stuff.
Vegemite.
Yeah.
That's what I was. I was like, I was trying to remember the name. Vegemite.
That's
And they
gross.
also call, sprinkles that you put on like ice cream, they call them hundreds and thousands. That's what they call them.
I love it.
I
So
love
they need
that.
an ice cream shop? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, so that's got to be an ice cream shop where they can,
just
you
so
can get
you
hundreds
can
and
say
thousands.
hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
Each cast member will correct you every time you go in and ask for sprinkles.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
Love it.
You know what they
That's
should
all I
what they
got.
should call? They should call the ice cream shop Sprinkles and then correct you when you say, "Oh, we want some sprinkles."
No.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
I
They would
believe
have to
that
fight
Sprinkles is
in
already.
Disney Springs.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
They would have to fight.
So
Sprinkles.
no attraction?
No attraction.
I don't
I mean, most
think-
of them don't. That's
I
fine.
mean, so Dave, we were grilling you the other week about like you were being very
Cost efficient.
all
yeah.
of my cost-saving measures.
We were-
I'm a cheapskate.
yeah. So I mean, that's cost isn't necessarily a thing for me, but it's like I think that's what it needs. It needs a good thing that people will sit down and watch. I don't think it needs an
Yeah.
attraction.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you
makes
guys
sense.
picked on me. There's no holds barred
Oh,
in mine tonight.
I also said sit down and watch. I meant lean and watch.
Oh, that's right.
I'm gonna lean and watch.
There's no seats in the 360.
That's right.
Yeah.
Will you have a hidden Mickey in your Circle Vision, Smell-O-Vision movie?
Is it a Circle Vision movie without a head Mickey?
It can't be.
Can't
All
be.
right, cool.
Okay, so the answer is no.
All right, perfect.
And I guess it would be narrated by the Irwins because, like, I was really disappointed. I just put my hand in your camera. I was really disappointed when they came out with "O Canada," narrated by Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, two comedians, and it was the lamest thing
It was a
I think I've
snooze
ever
fest.
witnessed. I mean, they're on Schitt's Creek, which is a wonderful show.
So funny.
I
So
love
funny.
that show so much, and it's just like we didn't make it funny. We didn't make it
Right.
funny.
Have you seen the clip that's nothing but his sister saying, well, she says a bad
Ew,
word. But
David.
Yeah, ew, David. And so, like, my
Ew,
wife sends that to
David.
me all the time. All the time. Which is so fitting.
I love that show.
All right, well done, mate. I
Well
love
done,
it.
Mike.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well done.
More Aussies all around.
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
How much,
Well,
Dave?
Dave,
Hold on. I have to ask Dave. How much does it cost in Australia?
Hundreds and thousands.
No.
Oh, no.
But
How much does it cost?
If you're going in for some Fosters, because beer is expensive.
Yep.
Like when you go to like theme parks or in games, and it's gonna be a hard price of $14.99. That's how much it's gonna cost, mate. $14.99
Dave says that
$14.99.
way
all the time.
way
Every
more
time
than
the
he should.
Outback commercial comes on, I always love to go, "It's $14.99. Hit on the." I can't say Outback in with the
So the
Australian
only
accent.
time you say that is during the Outback commercial?
No,
Nope.
pretty much inappropriate times.
Anytime
time.
anything is
love
involving a price.
Yeah,
that's
or
what
if
he
we're
says.
talking about any, like we could be somebody could do any accent. It could be Indian, it could be British, it could be South American. I'll go $14.99, mate, and because it's just that's the only one I can do.
Yep.
Well, here you go. Before we get off of Australia,
idiot.
I'm going
Oh.
to teach you how to say another Australian phrase.
Okay.
You need
do
to
it.
say the phrase "raise up lights," but say it with an Australian accent. Raise up lights. Go, Matthew.
I know what it
I'm
is.
not gonna
You don't
do
know
that.
what it is? It's very sharp. Am I right, Brandon?
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
sharp. Raise up lights.
Right,
I
ready?
can't even attempt it.
Raise up lights.
Ah.
Yes.
I need some raise up lights.
Raise up lights.
Yeah.
Oh, this was
Bring
good.
back the soul patch, Dave. Bring it back. Bring
I
it
know.
back.
Let's do it. It's multicolored now, so it's no longer just brown.
Well, Dave, I know your reimagining is epic, so I want to save that for last. Or at least I've
Are
heard.
you sure?
that
Are you
it's
sure?
epic.
Okay. All right.
I've heard it's pretty epic, so
Great. No pressure.
no pressure. But
Brandon,
what
it's your turn.
This is what I would do, and I would add the country of Jamaica.
Yeah, of course you would.
Here we go. It's
course
accent
I
time
would.
again. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Everything is Irie. That's awful accent.
You did well.
But
You did
know,
well.
this may be because Krista and I have been to Jamaica
A lot.
over 10 times. But I think this country would go pretty awesome in the World Showcase.
Yeah.
So the main attraction would be a ride based on the movie Cool Runnings.
Yes.
Oh, snap.
So
I love that.
Yeah,
movie.
so it would be based on Cool Running. It would be a fun, thrilling bobsled ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cue to this ride would be super interactive because on a bobsled team, there's 4 spots. You have like the pilot, you have the guy, the 2 people in the middle, and then the guy in the back who kind of is the brake and steer. So the cue would be interactive. And throughout the time you're waiting in line, you're answering questions and things like that. And by the time you get to the bobsled, that will determine where you ride. So kind of like the Millennium Falcon, you can be a pilot or a gunner or an engineer. You will have your specific spot. They won't give it to you. It'll be determined by the answers to the questions. So it'll be a kind of fun, dark ride that goes through the bobsled. So it'll be super fun that way. The restaurant that I will have here is a quick service restaurant that we will call the Jerk Shack. It's going to serve all of the crazy Jamaican favorites like jerk chicken. Their national dish is ackee and saltfish, which sounds awful, but it's actually like a fruit and a fish.
Okay.
It's not terrible, but it'll be a cool little, island vibe. It'll have like the thatched roof hut. It'll just be a cool, go up to the grill, grab your jerk chicken, sit down, enjoy it there. And then kind of like the Brazil idea, but they're, in Jamaica, when you go out to the markets and things like that, there's just a bunch of these little booths where the local people will carve things and, sell little trinkets and things that remind you of the country. It's a very, it's obviously a third world country, but the people there are so friendly and they're so happy that you're there talking to them. So I would love to bring that kind of feeling into the World Showcase. So it would be kind of like an open air market almost with just different booths that you could peruse around and buy stuff. So that's kind of my idea of Jamaica. It's just and they'd obviously play Bob Marley and Jimmy Cliff, and it would just be a really cool, it would just be a really cool place to hang out, a place to rest.
I love it.
All right, I'm in as long as we can have Ohana 3.
Ohana 3. It would be called Ohanaman.
When you hear your family. Okay, so I really like this.
That's Olive Garden.
I know, but it works. So what I like about this is there's nothing from the Caribbean represented anywhere on Disney. I mean, could you imagine the steel drums as the little entertainment out there?
I put my face.
Than Pirates of the Caribbean
And Caribbean Beach. There's an entire resort.
But it's not in the parks.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates is?
That's old Caribbean. This is
because
new
there's
Caribbean.
a big
It's
difference.
like IP.
That's right. Yes.
I think it's different. I mean, Disney Cruise Line, right?
Yeah.
But they probably do some stuff. That's again not.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Ohana 3, man. It
All
just
right.
need more of that.
Ohanaman. I love it.
Great.
I love
But
it.
yeah, steel drums, that's got to be the entertainment.
Come
right?
on, yeah.
It's kind of like the guys who play like the trash cans and all the crazy stuff
Yes.
over at the Canada Pavilion right now. But yeah, just a group of performers like that playing steel drums, doing fire juggling and things like that. It'd be super fun.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool.
I love it. Okay.
It's good. Anybody going to grill Brandon? Does he got
No,
let's not
'cause that's a
grill.
good
We
idea.
should not grill anyone. But at Ohana, it's all you can eat grilled food. It's so good. Is Ohana open yet? When is the Polynesian open? Clearly, I have a hankering for some Ohana.
Polynesian
Summer?
Village. The villas are open.
Yeah,
so-
but no, when is the rest of the resort open?
Is Ohana not open?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You
I
can't
don't
get a
think so.
res. I check every single
Well, you
time.
can't get a res to begin with, so
But
no. I mean,
Okay.
we're gonna go to Captain Cook's
what is it? Oh, is it to get some Tonga toast?
to get some Tonga toast,
Yeah.
and I know they're open.
Yes.
So that's
But
cool.
Tonga toast is somewhere else.
That's at Captain Cook's.
Oh,
They
Tell
have
your friends.
listening
imitation
is awesome.
Okay, Dave, are you
all
trying
right.
to
Unlocking
avoid
the
this?
magic would kill us. Okay.
I think
Dave,
it's your turn, Dave.
I've had
Yes.
it.
You guys have hyped this up too much. It's not that
It's
great.
so. What
It's
are you
just
talking about?
detailed.
Okay.
It's detailed.
All right.
Have I shared it with you?
Nope.
None of y'all know. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, you know where. So I'm going to pick India.
Why?
Why? Because we have enough Euro-Asian countries in the World Showcase. So I think it's time for one of the literally largest populated countries in the world to get a pavilion. We need some representation.
Is it India and Asia?
Is it?
Yeah.
We have enough European countries.
But it's different. It's different.
It's fine. Yeah, I hear it.
Dang it. I shouldn't have
Keep it
typed
going.
that.
It's still a very different culture.
Yeah.
And that's all I got.
The nation.
What's happening there, Dave?
So amazing food, stunning architecture. Are you ready?
I'm
You're
ready.
going to die.
I feel like I know what you're going to say.
And a dark ride
Yep.
based on the live-action Jungle Book.
Oh.
We'll talk about the food first. Okay.
Are you going to have another one also based on the new live-action Jungle Cruise? Because there's not going to be a ride based on that.
Let's talk about the food first. Ohana 4. If anybody wants to know what you should get me for any gift certificate to Ohana. Okay, so a sit-down restaurant that will overlook part of the ride, like they do with Pirates in Disneyland and Ratatouille in France.
Yep.
That will serve authentic favorites such as samosas, which is, you ready for this? Deep fried potato and veggie dumpling. I'm in for that.
Get that in my
and
belly.
of course, curry, and then naan, which is like their flatbread.
Yes.
It would also feature tea. I'm going to start a fight here with literally everybody that's probably listening and watching. Tea is the most drunk, consumed beverage in the world. I hate coffee with a passion. So, and like, there are so many exotic cool teas that come from India. Okay, so let's talk about, so right next to the restaurant that would serve all these teas would be a shop selling all of these exotic teas and spices from India. All right. Now, as you wander back through the pavilion, you would have shops that would feature authentic clothing, textiles, jewelry, shawls. And India is, of course, the land of incense. So there would be a shop dedicated to hundreds of types of incense.
It's very cool.
Now,
What?
for the main attraction.
Oh.
Ooh.
This would be a river ride deep into the jungle. Ooh. As you head down the river, you would hear Ka say, "Are you alone out here? What are you doing so deep in the jungle?"
Oh, no.
Oh.
This would, of course, lead to an epic adventure that will be as immersive, because we need this in the States. It would be as immersive as the state-of-the-art Pirates ride in Shanghai Disneyland.
Oh.
Wall-to-wall video walls, and if you're familiar with all that ride, like, yes, it's on a track system, but at some point it lets go and it, like, the boat actually spins.
Yeah.
So we could do all, like, they already have the technology, we know it exists.
Ooh, if you want to see how that technology works, Imagineering Story, we plug it almost every show.
Yes,
Okay, anyway,
it's the best thing on
Very
Disney
good.
Plus in my opinion.
Very good.
Now, here's what's unique. So we didn't really talk about where we were putting this. So where we were going to put this is where the African Outpost is. And if you're not familiar where that is, it's just over the bridge where there was a waterway that goes backstage where they put where they used to house all of the show barges for illuminations. And so we've been like lucky enough a couple of times to be walking over that area where they stop everybody, the little bridge comes up and they parade all of the like barges out for illuminations. And they actually played music when they did that, like in that little area. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And so as you wander back there, it would make sense. Obviously, water and rivers are a big part of India and India culture. And so it would be an opportunity to kind of theme out that water area as you could show it back there and do kind of like what they do in Harambe, where they have like the boat. And so they could just put some thematic elements that kind of still worked, since it's going to be in the sight line, even though that's kind of backstage. And so like just to have that theming back there, I think would be kind of unique. I mean, it's not different than any other lands, because I know like on the lagoon, like in front of Italy, they have, don't they have gondolas? Like, I mean, so there's a little bit of theming but like this would be obviously, as you wander back there, it's all along that waterway. So they would either have to find a way to completely wall it off and hide it, but make use of it, right? I mean, it'd be kind of cool to theme it. That, ladies and gents, is what I would do. India.
I love it.
You do?
I want to go there now. Like I want,
I just want the ride.
I want that to be built now.
I just say we expand World Showcase like they originally had planned, right?
Yes.
Just like
put them all.
of them in.
Yes.
Because all
of
of
the
these
goodness.
just sound so exciting, and I think it's such a great way to like catch the travel bug. You know?
Yes, come on.
You don't even need a COVID vaccine passport to go to any of these places.
Listen.
That's true.
Brandon's like, it's 12 minutes from my front door. I can see the world.
Yeah, it's a little longer to Epcot, but
Okay, fair
maybe
enough.
15 minutes, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Rough.
That's all I got.
I do have a small qualm. You said that you didn't like coffee?
Yeah.
What's that about?
It's for communists.
Oh, you
I'm
want
just kidding.
Hold on. I'm worse than Dave. I don't like coffee or tea.
Communist.
Communist.
I am currently drinking a cup of coffee right now as we speak.
That
Fair enough.
There,
I've never
yeah.
cared for it. Well, I'll go ahead. This is a story that I actually haven't told on the podcast, so I will tell it. My mom grew up drinking black coffee. That was what she had at every meal. It didn't matter the time of day. It's what she always had. And when my brother and I were younger, we would go out to eat. We would go, we lived kind of in Podunkville, and there was a little gas station that had a little like burger and barbecue shop and like sold little things of ice cream. I remember going all the time. So we would sit there and go get an ice cream cone or whatever. And my mom, like any other parent who would normally use water, would take in her napkin and dab a little bit of black coffee and would clean off like our mouths, right? I mean, because it was the only piece of liquid. It was the only form of liquid that she had, and there wasn't any cream or sugar in it because she always drank it black. And so I decided very early on in life that I would not ingest a cleaning product into my body. And so that is probably why I don't like coffee. I don't know. But that's a true story.
Okay. So you're scarred is what you're trying to say.
I'm scarred for life.
Listen, I'm here to say that I think the World Showcase could use more coffee shops.
I agree.
So whatever it needs to get that.
Yeah, we have like one at the open. That's it. We got Starbucks.
Well, is there a Joffrey somewhere in Epcot?
Isn't there a Joffrey's back
by
like,
Canada?
Italy?
Oh.
There's a Joffrey's like right next door to there. No, you're right. There is. There's one in America, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Isn't
like
there?
between America and Italy.
There's also a Joffrey's right next door to Starbucks. That's all I know.
And there's a Joffrey's right outside the gate.
I'm just saying, but like, there's coffee's different all around the world, right?
It's like
That's right. Yep.
she's like she's looking for good coffee is what she's trying to say.
Well,
I love
even,
their
like,
"You Are Here" mugs. I'm a fan of those.
Even in like Magic Kingdom, like that Starbucks, I know you talked about that. It's just always packed. So I feel like the more coffee places there are, the less you have to wait in line.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
I hear it. I will say that
whatever we do, add coffee shop to it.
I will say that I very much enjoy the smell of coffee. I can't stand the taste. The smell is incredible.
Nope.
Just put enough creamer in it. It'll taste fine.
I tried, man. I put 87 creamers in a Starbucks coffee once. Took a drink. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Oh, no.
And 67 sugars. It still didn't. The aftertaste was there. I couldn't get rid of it.
How long has our show been over?
Hey, thanks for joining us on this episode.
I will say, why did we call this one Reimagineer It? It should just be, this is just Imagineering It.
I mean, we are reimagineering the African outpost. I mean, that's true. There's something there.
That's true.
I mean, I guess we could say that's where we're going to put all of our new countries, and then it would qualify.
Boom. Done.
I did want to say, Dave, that your Indian tea shop, though, that's going to make the people over at the United Kingdom in the Twinnings shop pretty angry. You know, you're going to.
Well, not everyone.
There's also a tea shop in China.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
in England, they have the pinky up. I don't know what they do in China.
So they got all these.
In China, they're probably two-handed.
They got all these tea shops and no coffee shops.
That's right. Amen. Because it's the most popular drink in the world, or the most drank drink.
Drink.
Coffee has to be second.
Oh, I'm sure.
Behind tea.
Well, water's probably number one.
Right.
But
True.
All right, this was fun. Emily, thanks for coming and hanging out with us. This was fantastic.
It was so fun to be here.
We would love to have you on again. You'll have to come on and be on our our normal show, so you give you an opportunity to talk about some parks news.
Absolutely. Disney Plus. Listen, I hear you guys are looking for someone to help you talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It's painful.
We need all the help we can get.
Please help us.
It's painful.
Listen,
it'd be great.
I'm here for it. That's like all I do, right?
I love it.
I love it.
Watch Disney Plus.
Love
Great
it.
news.
And to all the women out there, didn't she do great? We brought a good one on. Like, she's been fantastic. I love it.
Yes.
Females represent. That's right.
Love it.
Love it.
Okay, until we connect again, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and thanks for joining us on Reimagineer It World Showcase, sort of.
Yeah, thank you.
That's it.